Yeah, I mean, well, it's been a really busy season, especially like I got the van done right before Vegas. And so I didn't really have much time to practice, just trying to get all that done and get life situated. Once I got through Vegas, I was kind of just warming up and I took a slip and fell at the Memorial and had to drop out the day before. And then I didn't throw a disc for 3 weeks up until the day that the Waco Charity Pro Tour started. I got to Waco and played the first round with no pain, tried to play as minimalistic as possible. And once I got through without any pain, I played the next round 4 strokes better, and then I finished the tournament even 4 strokes better than that score. So I think I got in the top 15. I played a tournament 3 weeks after that down in Russellville, Arkansas, where Kevin Jones went to school. So I went and battled him on his home courses and took the W there. GBO kind of exposed the injury a little bit just because I couldn't throw as well. I wasn't throwing the long bomb very well. That's probably the toughest part when you're touring, is to just mend and not feel like I'm going the wrong direction. After GBO, that was, I think, San Francisco when I flew back out. The week following San Francisco was probably the busiest week I've had on the tour. We did busiest week and a half. I think we did 6 battles in 9 days. And then, unfortunately, I had to go get a root canal, emergency root canal. So that really sucked. And then after that, went to Canada and won my first event ever in Canada, which was really cool. It was really fun up there at the Forest City Open. Just got back from Estonia, had a blast out in Finland. I stopped by Sweden on the way out, played Järva, which is really fun. We had a nice little Save Järva event out there, and did some nice propping for the Innova guys out there, which was really fun. Got to see some friends really quick. I went to Finland and picked up a W on the Hämeenlinna Open. European Open, I was a bit disappointed just not being able to practice as much as I would have liked. The big events are the ones I really want to be prepared for, and not being able to prepare for that event, I feel like, is a real bummer. I didn't play my best. I couldn't get through the courses out there. That was kind of frustrating. I feel like it was a lack of preparation, and then maybe I needed a couple discs at a different stability. I had all the right discs, but maybe just not at the right time in their life. But then we went to Estonia and played the Baltic Tour, Innova Baltic Tour. I'll at the Guze Open, which was really fun. I stayed with Nate Sexton and the Innova Baltic guys. It's so beautiful out there in eastern Estonia. It's kind of more in the farmlands, about 30 miles from Russia. Those guys treated Nate and I like kings. We ate this amazing food off the farm every day, and we were staying at this old school. They just took care of us so awesome, and I can't wait to go back to Estonia. It's great disc golf scene there too. It was really fun. They have like junior tournaments that are filling the course. Just unbelievable, guys. And I'm talking under 16, not even under the 18s, like 16, 14, and 12-year-old divisions that are filling the course. Or from what I've read online, a lot of people say, oh, these courses are similar to those. And I couldn't be more in opposition to that statement, because the way that these courses play here is far different than the way that the courses in Vermont play, for a couple of reasons. Here, I think it's more, not necessarily tighter lines, but maybe tighter landing zones, especially out at Northwood Gold. Like, there's a few holes that you really have to be in a good position to be able to attack. Whereas last year, a few of the holes, like on the Brewster Ridge course, you can maybe be off to the left or the right and still, if you have a really strong scramble game, be able to get the good number. Whereas I think at Northwood Gold, on especially a few of the holes, you just you got to have a lot of bravado to try to attack if you're out of position, because it can just get a lot worse. The rough is a bit more rough. Most of the holes are pretty fair from what I can tell. There's only a few that I kind of am not a big fan of as far as like fairness factor. It's a couple of tight greens, maybe a couple tight landing zones. On paper, they look like they compare, because, okay, it's tight, it's through the woods, there's some par fours. But I think in playing style, they're much different. And then when it comes to like for instance, Lake Eureka in comparison to Fox Run Meadows, Lake Eureka is far more one-dimensional than Fox Run, just with the hyzer game. I think if you have like 3 or 4 really good discs that you can rely on at Eureka and you're throwing them well, I think you can navigate that course pretty easily. Whereas Fox Run really is a little bit more of a mental challenge to say, which disc am I throwing really well and which one am I going to choose to get to the landing zone? Whereas here, it's a lot more, I feel like, hyzer bomb friendly, which it's still a decent track, but there's a couple holes that I feel like just don't fit. Where Fox Run, I feel like every hole kind of has its purpose. That course, as far as preparation, I'm really just trying to find those 3 discs that I can rely on. Like I know exactly when it's going to hyzer back, you know, not too early or not too late. You want that one that you can maybe hang out there and then it dives off. So that's been my big goal, is try to just find exactly which disc is at the right time in its life, or which one is just perfectly seasoned in enough to hold the line, but then hyzer. And then maybe if the wind kicks up, you have a disc that's your windy disc, that you make sure that it'll come back to the left, because it can get really breezy over on that course, especially coming off the water. And some of the holes go this way, some of them go that way. So it kind of feels like you get every angle of the wind, you know? You got a headwind, you got a tailwind, you have crosswinds. Attention to detail of which disc to throw. I have a nice seasoned in Star Boss that I'm throwing off of the longer tee pads. I have a mix of discs, like just going out and finding which one. Like it could be one of my 3 or 4 Scorpius or one of my 4 or 5 Destroyers. Doesn't really matter to me which one it is. Whichever one is making the move, then they're going to be called up into the starting lineup. You know, the rest of them will go on the bench. It doesn't matter. I have a good variation of a lot of discs that I can choose from out of the back of the van. So I'm just going to go find which one. I think I have a pretty good idea. I think it'll be the Boss. I have a green Destroyer that I threw a couple years back at European Open really well, and I've put it away, and it still has that nice flight. So it'll probably be the green Destroyer, and then 1.9 Scorpius, brand new. That'll be my stable disc. I think the same can be said for Eureka too. If you're getting off the tee pad, you put yourself in position, but it's going to be who can make the putts. It all comes down to putting. You have to throw your way to get there, but the putting is going to be the main thing. So yeah, I putted with Josh today. He was saying the same thing. He's like, there's nobody around. I'm like, well, I know Josh is still going to beat me. He beat me by 1. So pissed. Another win for Josh on the board over me, which is pretty typical, you know. But I got him at the big one last year. I know he wasn't very happy about that, but I still love Josh, you know. What are you going to do? It's like, we're buddies and we'll play, but then, you know, you get to that point where the tournament's happening and, you know, okay, we're like, maybe we're not friends for about a half hour. I really want to beat you right now. Like, and we've had that happen a few times, but I think it's a nice, healthy, competitive level with him. So kind of got me right in. I'm juiced for Worlds now. I'm already playing with Josh. He's already beaten me at putting, you know, ready to go. Actually, great story though. Last year's Worlds, Josh was the first person that I practiced with. 8 days prior, he was the first guy that we practiced together. And I'm over there chipping around, you know, throwing my putters. And he's like, are you gonna just sit here and throw your putters around, or are we gonna play? So we ended up playing the golf, the end of Fox Run. And then, you know, whatever, 10 days later, we're there battling for the title on the same exact holes that we like warmed up on. And it's pretty crazy. He's the ultimate nail biter, because you know he's gonna make the putt. And then I feel like I just can't even putt. Josh is gonna make everything. The guy just makes every putt, you know? It's crazy. Go through, like, I bet you lifetime, he's 60% from everywhere, you know? And then probably more, actually, 60%, he'd probably be mad. Give him 85%. From everywhere, he's got a putter in his hand, forever. It's incredible, man. Like, people always, like, think Josh has maybe a different way of playing. I'm like, you know, I've had somebody come up, man, what a weird putting style. And I'm like, yeah, it's weird when it goes in every time. It's so weird how that happens, how it just keeps going in. It's, yeah, super weird. I just made another one from 80 feet. It's like, uh, but I love playing with Josh. I always feel fortunate to be on his card because I know I'm playing pretty good. It's very rare that he doesn't play well. So yeah, hopefully we can get into another battle. Battling Josh down the stretch last year was probably, when I talked to him on the phone a couple days later, you know, we've had so many battles through the years, just like, you know, he said, we saved the best one for the Worlds, you know, which is crazy to me because I'm like, for him to say that, you know, it was a great battle, no doubt. And he's had a few of those at Worlds. I'm not the first guy that's had to play my heart out to beat him. And he's a gamer, you know, if you do anything with Josh, it's gaming. Like I remember running into him at like a miniature golf course in Sacramento, and he's out there with like some of his other friends. Like I don't know these guys. They're not golfers, not disc golfers. And he's like in the middle of a like a grudge match mini golf challenge with like 5 other people. They got cash on the line, you know. It was getting serious. He'll game you at anything. You could like go flip nickels or something. Josh would bet you at it. It would be a great rematch. If I could get to the same point that we were last year and be established in the tournament, that would be a dream, you know? Just like last year. I mean, to get to the finals, big shout out to Matty O. And I came through on my promise last year where I told him if I ever got to the battle at the Worlds, I felt like I would win. I mean, there's so many good players these days. I think it's anybody's game. I really do. And I think the best putter will win. Northwoods, as long as it is, it's a real putter's course. So obviously you got to get off the tee, but the good scores are going to be from the guys that knock the putts down. Just play your game. Don't worry about anybody else. You know, obviously there's a ton of sharks out here that are going for the title. You know, a few, namely, I think Ricky is the hungriest right now. I think he really wants it back. Obviously, Paul's been having a really good year. I feel like Ricky's really hungry. And then there's a couple of young guys that haven't been crowned yet that really, I think, want that. My job is to play good this week and hold them off. That's my job. Yeah, there's like that whole aura of, oh my gosh, you know, you should do this or you should play really well. Like, I'm just trying not to, you know, not to feed into any of that, and don't feed anything that doesn't give me the energy back, you know. It's like, there's a lot of people that are playing things or saying things, you know. A lot of people say things for clout, but I speak from experience knowing that it's just a game and it's just the same game that you play every time. But you have to go and do it because it's the big one. And this is, I think, my 17th World Championship, so I've been here a few times. Like, it's nice to get the win, but I'm going to go out and try to do the same thing that I did last year in a different way, which is find my landing zones and hit putts. You know, hit big putts at the right time. That's how I think I won the Worlds last year, was making the crucial shot in the clutch moment. And I don't think it'll ever be the same, but something similar to that would be cool. My main goal is just to overall have a positive experience and, you know, leave this week with a positive taste in my mouth, no matter how it goes. You know, you're going to have your good events, you're going to have your tough events. I'm hoping that this one's a good one. Kind of had a tough year as far as the injury is concerned, fighting back from that. So I'm rested. I'm well practiced on the courses. I practiced last week. I'm going to play maybe a couple more fine-tune rounds, you know, to fine-tune the idea and the game plan. Depending on what round it is, I feel like, you know, building 2 game plans is essential, because that course can knock you out of the tournament the first round. You know, there's so much OB, and the way that the strokes fly around, you know, you could be like, mark my words, there will be a really good player that's 10 throws back of the lead if somebody pops, without a doubt, because that's just the way that course plays. It's got OB everywhere. There's so many holes. So if you can stay on course, you can stay in the game, I feel like. So maybe not as an aggressive play the first round. I'm going to play aggressive to the spots that I want to hit, but maybe not this psycho aggressive playing, going for every birdie or whatever. My idea is to stay in the tournament and get down the road to rounds 3 and 4 and 5. And, you know, if it gets to the point where, okay, now it's time to play aggressive, whether it's the 3rd round or the 5th round out at Eureka, then maybe going for the crazy shot like the 3 on number 6, which is like, it's a tough par 4. Depending on the wind, it can be really tough, but I think I'll play that for a 4 the first round at least, because you just don't want to take a 7 the first round, because after you're on the 6th hole of the tournament and you already feel like you're playing catch up. So the idea is just to get through the course the first time, play smart. If I'm knocking down putts, then the score should be pretty decent, even with safe play. So that's really a big goal of mine, is to establish in the tournament and then go from there. I love to be that guy that people don't expect to play well. Like, I don't think anybody expected me to win the Worlds last year. Like, it didn't stop me from getting where I'm going. So it's kind of a nice role to fill, where everybody else they're expected to play really good. And maybe people expect me to play well this week, and I thank them for that. And I can assure them that I will go out there and play my best golf that I can. The main thing is keeping the head straight if things go wrong, and not letting it fly off the handle. So that's my big goal, is to have some fun, try to keep it light. If I can get a crowd, if I can get into an area where there's a crowd, I feel like maybe I can get a little more juju going, because I thrive off of that. And that's the fun part of the game. Like, I remember when I first started playing, and that was like one of my favorite things, was like, throw the badass shot right in front of a bunch of people. Just throw the coolest shot you could, have somebody be like, wow, or that was insane, or that was stupid. Why would you do that? It's been a humbling experience, and then also, a really celebratory experience with like a lot of my friends, or people that were on the other side, watching from home, or like watching that, like hearing the stories of how it went down, like, from their end. Apparently there was like a huge video party when they were watching, and people were like holding each other, like white knuckling and stuff, which is great. And to the other people that are like, oh, I knew you had it the whole time. Where I'm really happy that they knew that. Like, I didn't know that. But yeah, it's just been really, really fun to go and connect with the players. Like I said, we've been on the road doing Barsby Battle and Innova promotions. So it's been really great to see the people that have come out and support not only what I'm doing this year, but to just come out and enjoy a day in the park. I've been doing the same thing for however many years. This is my 17th year in Open. 13th year touring. So it's been a long road to get to this point, but it's been cool to see that, okay, cool, the needle has been moved. Now I can go overseas, and the looks are a little different, and it's still the same thing that I started doing 25 plus years ago, like in the park. So it's the same, it's the same thing. I come from the culture of the sport, where it's all love. That's why we're all out here doing it, and every competitive person that's here this week to compete for this title, the most prestigious title, it started from that. And it may have migrated into something else, but it still comes back to the love of the game that we have, whether it's you love to hang out with your friends and go play, or you love the way that it feels when you throw the perfect shot. That was what got me, was just throwing the perfect throw, exactly what I wanted to do, and feeling like I had a little bit of control over something. And that's the challenge for me these days, is just to have the control. Control is king. The power really helps a lot, but when you can kind of mesh those two and combine those, that's where the magic really happens. I've met thousands of great people, and I continue and hope to look forward to meeting very many more. It's a great sport, and I recommend anybody to come and play it, because it's one of the best things you'll ever do.